Hello everybody, this is Bird Brain. We are nerdy for the birdies. The Eagles have taken down the Detroit Lions to reach 8-2 in a ugly Sunday night football game, and we're going to talk about it. I'm going to make this point very quick because I don't really want to talk about the offense, and mainly because I don't really have anything else to say because I've said the same stuff most of the season. They just got to get better, plain and simple. Nothing else to say. I want to talk about the defense and the addition of Jaelan Phillips and the growth of some of the players on this defense. One thing that I've always heard about Vic Fangio defenses is usually earlier in the season they're not as good as they usually, or as they are later on because they, it's a difficult defense. People have to learn and you have to get guys going in it. This defense is a championship caliber defense. You took two offenses, the Packers and the Lions, right? The Lions are crushing people, blowing people out left, right, and center. And you held them to 9 points. You take the Packers offense, which, has been pretty respectable, put up a good amount of points this season. You held them to 7 points. You look at really how this defense has played in recent weeks, really since the bye and the addition of Jaelan Phillips, and it just felt like everyone on defense was making plays. You have, the D tackles, Carter and Davis, knocking down passes. The edge rushers constantly in Goff's face, constantly creating pressure. The linebackers, Nakobe had a really good night, had a couple reps in coverage, and then had a big sack to drive the Lions back further in field goal range. Closer to being out of field goal range, I should say. The corners, I thought, outside of the Jameson Williams play, really good night. Even Adoree', I thought he played pretty solid. He had a nice pass breakup going up against Amon-Ra St. Brown. Quinyon did Quinyon things. Coop gets his first career pick, technically, because obviously the one in the Super Bowl is a Super Bowl one, so now he actually officially has a pick. Makuba was out there hitting tonight too, and Reed had a couple of near interceptions, and he was making some big plays near the line of scrimmage. It feels like this defense is very slowly coming together, and when it really truly cements itself, it's going to be a really cool unit. I think they are by far the stronger of the two units on the team between offense and defense, and we'll see how that continues to progress. And if this team is going to go far, it's going to be because of the defense, unless the offense gets its act together. Like I said, I don't want to talk about the offense. I want to focus on this defense because there's so many really good players on it. And, it just felt like constantly in this game, Jared Goff was not comfortable. I mean, he was missing layups. He was missing all sorts of throws. The only reason why the Lions had any sort of offense is because Jahmyr Gibbs is very, very fast. And even then, it still didn't really feel like they wrecked the game. They shut down the Lions as a rushing team. They did a really good job. Again, outside of Gibbs and one Jameson Williams play, they did a pretty good job all night. They did their job. So they deserve the praise, the credit, and they're a unit that seems to know how to utilize its talent to its max and constantly be creative in how they deploy themselves week to week. Anyways, so for player of the game, it was pretty tough to name one just because, if we're being totally honest, nobody had like a true standout night. Just to name a few potential players, Jaelan Phillips was active again. Jordan Davis with 3 passes knocked down. Nakobe had some nice reps defensively. But I'm actually going to give it to somebody a little different. I'm going to give it to Jake Elliott. If you were not in Philly or not in the area, it is very windy today, and it was very windy in this game, and kicking was a concern. And for Jake Elliott to make all 3 of his kicks and his extra point was a huge advantage in this game to be able to put up points. So you got to be happy about that. Anyways, next week we take on the Cowboys. It's Dallas week. But the big thing that I am concerned about here is if this offense can't figure it out against Dallas's defense, which is really, really bad, I don't know what to tell you. Anyways, so this has been Bird Brain. Hope you guys enjoyed being nerdy today. Fly, Eagles, fly. See you around.